It's your daily dose of Donna. Welcome to the show. Today is Wednesday, July 30th. I cannot believe that we are coming up on August. It's not happening. I am in denial that we're in August almost. It's not okay. The only good news about that is that we are just over 23 days until Dosers Live. I can't believe it's around the corner. Can you imagine it? Whoa, 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 whoa. Dosers Live is so close. 23rd of August here in Los Angeles. Are you coming? Have you bought your tickets? Go to dailydosepod.com/dosers live to get your tickets. I don't even know if there are tickets left, but I think there are like 3 or 4 more tickets left. It will be me. It will be Zach Peter. I'm sure you know who he is. Sarah Fraser is going to be there. Stu's going to be there. A bunch of other people. Molly Dare is going to be there. So many live dosers that you guys see in the chat every day. My family is going to be there. You're going to get to meet Lance. You'll get to meet my sister, maybe even my mom. Oh my God, my mom was over. My mom was part of Zach Peter's live show. It was not expected. And boy, was that embarrassing. But it will be so much fun. I am so excited about it. Can't wait for it. Nervous beyond belief, but excited about it. I got a great DM from someone that was like, I am dying to go, but I can't because she lives across the country, not across the country, across the world. And she's like, I can't afford to get over there, to fly over there. Because the tickets themselves are actually really affordable. And it comes with all you can drink and all you can eat because there's no way. I told you guys this already. I can't throw a party without making sure that you overindulge in all ways. In all ways. Oh my gosh, yes, Danny was at the show in Chicago and she got to hear how my mom got involved. It was involving a truth or dare. My poor mom had a heart attack and then she took me out of her will. It's true. It's true. We have a great show today. We're talking about all kinds of things, random things, but you know me. I make it like Dorinda makes it nice. I make it fun. Donna makes it fun. Okay. We have a breakup drama that got messy. And you don't even have to watch Love Island, but you're going to like the tea. We're going to talk about Jax Taylor and how he's a disgusting piece of shite. It's not even like, this is a show that shows that I'm not misogynistic. Like, this show is for the Blake bots that think that I am a misogynistic person. I hate men, according to this episode with my first stories. Okay. Sorry, men in the chat. I hate men. Well, not all men, but I hate Kenny and I hate Jax. Really, Jax. And then we're going to talk about, I want to talk about a few other big stories that are just popping up, little updates here and there. But I want to talk about the Aaron Spencer trial that's coming up in September. Do you know about the Aaron Spencer case? Some of our favorite law tubers are talking about it here and there. I know Melanie has been talking about it, Melanie Little. And then, of course, the lawyer, Peter Tragos, he mentioned it yesterday. He had a show about it yesterday. And I've mentioned it before. So I want to talk about it also today. I've already talked about it one time, but I want to remind you guys about it today because the trial is supposed to be coming up in September, which, as you know, we're almost in August. So it's going to be next month, basically. And so I want to kind of familiarize you guys with this trial because I feel very confident that this man is unfairly being held for a crime that any person that has a child would do themselves. So we're going to talk about that. Don't you worry. That and more. Don't worry. We will chat about all of it on today's Daily Dose of Donna. Oh my goodness. Billy says we did beach sunset last night. Too many cockies on the beach. For a second, I didn't see that why. And I was like, Billy, too many cocks on the beach? It's a problem I've never had. I have never had that problem. But I've definitely had too many cockies on the beach. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Inner City Press is reporting from in court, and I don't think it's going that well. He's reporting from in court about what? The Aaron Spencer trial? The pre-trial? Let me check it out right now. I didn't know he was there. Inner City Press, that man can be everywhere all the time. It's really, really unbelievable. Let's see. And we'll talk about all about that in just a second. I have so much I want to talk about with you guys. How can I do one show a day? I want to do 500 shows a day. It's about the Blake Lively stuff. This is more important. Okay. I mean, it's not more important, but we'll talk about that. Okay, so let's cover that right now, actually. Let's go over reporting live for the Blake Lively trial right now. We're going to jump on over to Inner City Press. Please hold. Jumping on over to reporting live from X. Inner City Press. It's always really hard to understand how he tweets, but let's go into it. Inner City Press. Okay, now at Bryan Freedman versus Blake Lively. Case about Lively's subpoena on Bryan Freedman's firm, which represents Justin Baldoni and is trying to quash the subpoena. So yes, as we know, Blake Lively has sent a subpoena to Bryan Freedman's trial. I mean, to Bryan Freedman's to his office, his firm. God help me. And he's trying to quash the subpoena. So Inner City Press is reporting live from there, and he threads on it. He says, 2:10 p.m., all rise. This is 28 minutes ago. Judge says, I'll hear on the motion to quash the subpoena. The Lively parties cite cases. This is Ellen Garofalo. This is for Bryan Freedman. So remember, Ellen Garofalo was the trial lawyer that was brought in. This is a former attorney for Taylor Swift and was brought in for Bryan Freedman. It says the Lively parties cite cases where opposition counsel was involved in resolved lawsuits or were involved in the matters are issue, not the case here. She continues, here are the alleged and untraceable smear campaign. Whether the Liner firm has any relevant documents about communications with content creators is in dispute. The judge says one might say if there's a dispute, there can be discovery, if relevant. Part of the allegation is an untraceable smear campaign against Miss Lively after her allegations of sexual harassment. How can she prove it up without discovery? Garofalo continues, well, Miss Lively has extensively exercised discovery against 107 creators. I didn't realize there was 107 creators involved. The judge says, so is it your position they should go to the content creators? Garofalo says some of them have filed motions to quash. Judge says if those motions are well-founded, isn't it more appropriate to go to the horse's mouth, so to speak? Liner? Garofalo says maybe it's untraceable because it never happened. The Liner firm was not formally retained until December 21st, 2024, the day after Miss Lively filed her CRD complaint. When did privilege begin? December 20th, 2024. Judge, wasn't there an earlier date? Communications in anticipation of litigation? Liner's Garofalo says one text, December 16th, I believe. There is nothing more. If the court denies the motion to quash on categories 1 to 4, the answer would be none. Judge says, then why are you fighting about requests 1 to 4? Garofalo, cutting to the chase, the Liner firm certainly did not pay content creators, but requests 5 to 8, we have significant issues. They are overbroad, sweep in attorney-client information. Garofalo says the request is not limited, and then, of course, gets cut off by Judge Lyman by saying, they say they are not requesting privileged information. Garofalo continues, I suspect we will be back in front of your honor again. Lyman says, why shouldn't I order production of all non-privileged information? Garofalo says the quote unquote smear campaign or spike in negative publicity about Miss Lively began in 2024. Her last possible complaint was in January 2024. The smear campaign, uh, because in August 2024, maybe began in August 2024. There is no proximity. It was 9 months later. Liners Garofalo says, so it doesn't comply with California retaliation. Oh, that's interesting. Lyman says that's for a motion to dismiss or in limine. I don't know what that word means, limine. Does anyone here know what that means? I don't know what that means. Garofalo says, or judgment on the pleadings. Request 6 is for communications with newspapers or online news source. Mr. Freedman has spoken. In public, Mr. Freedman speaks to the media. This request for content creators, it's too amorphous. Anyone with a few followers. Judge Lyman says, there is law in this circuit about subpoenas to media organizations. Mr. Garofalo continues, Mr. Freedman spoke to TMZ. Garofalo says, Miss Lively is asking for the source of Mr. Freedman's knowledge. This is a request for attorney-client information. Judge Lyman says, they say they seek the communications of the Liner firm with third parties, not the client. Okay, Miss Lively is asking for the source of Mr. Freedman's knowledge. This is a request for attorney-client information. And then Lyman says, well, they're saying they seek the communications of the Liner firm. Liner firm is Mr. Freedman's firm with third parties, not the client. Then Judge Lyman says, limine means to limit. Thank you so much. Then Judge Lyman says, there is a claim in this case that Mr. Freedman made false and defamatory statements. Garofalo says the question is whether the statements were true. Lyman says, attorneys sometimes talk to a number of people, not just their clients. Garofalo says, this is covered by the work product privilege. This is discovery from opposing counsel. It's disfavored in this district. They want all mobile phone records about Mr. Freedman's statements. We have 20 lawyers, not as big as Wilkie Farr, but wait, I'm so in shock that he's continuing to allow Blake Lively to get everything that she wants, even in his communication with Bryan Freedman's attorney. It feels like he's already pushing back on every single thing that Bryan Freedman is asking for. Like, do you guys already feel it? Are you guys already feeling it, or am I being insane here? So the last thing that's just happened is Garofalo just said, meaning Bryan Freedman's attorney just said, this is covered by the work product privilege. This is discovery from opposing counsel. It's disfavored in this district. They want all mobile phone records about Mr. Freedman's statements. We have 20 lawyers, not as big as Wilkie Farr, but come on, where's the next one? We're literally live tweeting it. It's unreal. Hold on. Nothing more is coming. So far, it feels incredibly like, you know, what's wild about this so far, what I'm seeing. No, so far what I've noticed already is that the one thing that I didn't realize already was this whole thing, the idea that Garofalo is saying the smear campaign or the spike in negative publicity began in 2024. Her last possible complaint to Justin Baldoni and to Wayfarer was in January 2024. This is kind of interesting until we wait until the next tweet comes through. It was January 2024. Think about this. 9 months later was the spike in negative publicity, which was August 2024. That they're saying, sorry, my computer keeps freezing in these like wild places. That they're saying is 9 months. It's outside of California retaliation. That to me is quite interesting. Does anyone else feel that? I didn't know that. I didn't know the California retaliation laws in that. Okay, let's keep going. Let's see if he has any more tweets since there. Continues. Garofalo says, do they want us to collect and redact a year of phone records to call out a single call that may have been with a member of the media? Judge Lyman says, do I apply California law? Why is the judge asking this? Why is the judge asking this? Hold on, let me say something really fast. And then Garofalo says, I understand the breadth of Rule 26. What is Rule 26? Let's attorneys come. Rule 26 is the duty to disclose general provisions governing. The Rule 26 is basically a party must make the initial disclosures at or within 14 days after the party's Rule 26 conference. Huh. Okay, sorry. Just going through this really fast here. Trying to get all the information for you guys. Okay. Let's see if there's anything else. Nothing yet. Nothing yet. The live tweeting is stressful. Right? Isn't it? See? Nothing yet? Come on, give me something. All right. Until it continues. It feels a little bit hold. Well, I will say this. At the end of the day, it comes down to, am I the only person that feels like Judge Lyman is, this is going to sound really nuts, but am I the only person that feels like Judge Lyman is maybe a little bit too, I really don't want to sound ageist here. I don't want to sound ageist, but is he like too old to understand social media? Is he too old to understand like social media and TikTok and content creators and the way that like social media works and YouTube and how we have access and just like we can all just talk and we can just say things and we have opinions and then we can just do things like that? Is where I feel like there's a little bit of a disconnect here. The way that new media and social media and content creators play a part in this case is so relevant. And I feel like Judge Lyman is like living in 1996 because for some reason he's not getting that the content creators are not parties in this lawsuit. They're not parties in this lawsuit. Lauren and Ken's and Shirsty and all of them, they are they're not parties in this lawsuit. It's wild that they're being treated like they are and they're not getting treated like unfairly pulled into this and he's not giving them or treating Blake and her attorney a little bit ru the fact that he got so mad at Bryan Freedman for making a circus out of this with just the one Taylor Swift mention, but then everything else is is okay on Blake Lively and Ezra Hudson for the crazy circus that they've created. It's so upsetting to me. Um Sorry, I'm trying to see if I can get I'm reaching out to Omar. He's not responding. He's probably like in a real trial. He's like, "No, Donna, I'm actually working." Okay, so let's see if there's anything else. Hold on. Let me make it bigger here for you guys in just a second. The impact of Molly says the impact of social media is so extraordinary. And if you aren't a user, you don't get the weight of social media opinion and content. It's exactly true. I mean, if anyone can be clearer on that, it's the Coldplay CEO. It's the fake news that gets spread around in 5 seconds every single day. I literally can start a rumor right now. And if I send it around to the right people, the right influential people on TikTok and Instagram, it can spread around the world in 2 hours. Right? Okay, so let's continue with this. Let's see what else it says. So the last said, Judge Lyman says, do I apply California law? And Garofalo says, I understand the breadth of Rule 26. Judge Lyman says, a retainer agreements between a lawyer and third parties. Is it privileged? Garofalo says, here they do not exist. They are subpoenaing Liner law firm bank accounts. Judge says, let me hear from the lively parties. Oh, here we go. Let me hear from my best friends, the lively parties. Lively lawyer Michael Gottlieb, Miss Lively's retaliation and defamation claims allege specific acts by Mr. Freedman and his firm. We allege the campaign was run by Wallace, the fixer from Street Relations, close with Mr. Freedman. Oh, okay. And I allege that I have someone out there, doing a lot of things. Like we all allege. We're all alleging a lot of things. Come on, give us more. Give us more. Inner city. Poor guy. I'm like stressed out for. They allege specific acts by Mr. Freedman and his firm. We allege the campaign was run by Wallace, the fixer from Street Relations, close with Mr. Freedman. But when was Mr. Freedman actually detained? Wait, is that the word detained? When you bring on a lawyer? What's the actual word? Yeah, detained. You detain a lawyer? I'm just retained. I'm still thinking about Kelly Wolf from yesterday. Retained, detained. Do you think Blake Lively is watching us watch her? Thank you. All of you guys know about retained except me. I'm going to edit the title of this. Hold on. Okay. As we wait. So what'd you guys do last night? There's going to be a lot of post-production editing for the audio version of this episode. Of course, he alleges this, but there's no proof. Yeah, exactly. This Shatau, I don't know who specifically, I don't know how to pronounce it, but says Gottlieb. This is not actually what's happening in the in the trial, but it says, Gottlieb, do you have any evidence? You've spent 7 months on it and you have nothing. This is once again this like untraceable, the untraceable smear campaign that shows nothing. Anything? Anything? X is hard sometimes. While you guys are here, just make sure you're hitting the thumbs up if you want me to keep reading it. And we can just make fun of Ryan Reynolds' perineum while we're here, okay? So just make sure. Joe says Ryan's perineum. Ew, 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 ew. I can't read that out loud. Ew, I can't. I can't read that out loud. Never mind. You guys, if you're in the live chat, you can. But just make sure to hit the thumbs up. How many likes do we have? Let's do that while we're here, huh? And make sure you're subscribed. All right, let's see if there's any update. I don't think there's an update, but Don't F with Justice did give us a little bit of an update here that said that the Wallace argument is DOA. It doesn't work timeline wise because they brought up that, Lively claimed the interrogatories were the basis for these subpoenas, but then Wayfarer called her bluff and unsealed tags AEO and basically says that the text is from August 2024, which was a text from Melissa Nathan to Jennifer Abel saying, like, here is what I got from Jed Wallace. It was basically like, here is an idea, like a pitch for what we could possibly do, like a quote for what we could possibly do if you wanted to work with me. It was from August 2024. By November 2024, Jed Wallace was completely gone. They never worked together. Not a single content creator subpoenaed throughout this entire thing began posting about this case until after January 2025. So make it make sense. Make it make sense. It doesn't make sense. That is the part that no one is talking about. Like, Judge Lyman needs to get with the program of how social media works. If these content creators were actually creating a smear campaign, then they would have been creating a shite ton of content between August 2024 and October, September, November 2024. There would have been a ton of content right then, but there's not any content created then from these content creators, maybe 1 or 2 videos here and there, but the majority of the content that was created between most of these content creators was after the lawsuits started. So this is the problem here, is that the timelines don't make sense. They're pulling this literally out of Ryan's perineum. Okay, back to tweeting. Let's see if there's anything else. Come on. Okay. He continues. We plead 8 specific defamatory statements by Mr. Freedman on behalf of the Wayfarer parties with actual malice. He falsely accused her of perjury, essentially. Paragraph 293 says Freedman appears on any show that will have him. Judge Lyman says your request would like up Hickman case information. How can it be that? What? Lively's lawyer, Gottlieb, says, we offered to meet up and confer and narrow. We could do that today. On request 7, we were never interested in client as source. That's privileged. What? I don't get your request would like up Hickman case information. How can it be that? I'm so confused by that. We plead 8 specific defamatory statements by Mr. Freedman on behalf of the Wayfarer parties with actual malice. He falsely accused her of perjury, essentially. Wait, I'm sorry. How do you say that? Falsely accused her of perjury, essentially? Para 293 says Freedman appears on any show that will have him. Gottlieb, and then this Shattow says, Gottlieb, what about you and Ezra effing Hudson lying to the press and the content creators? They're basically saying that, yeah, that Freedman is continuing to smear Blake Lively. Wait, so Bryan Freedman saying I'll appear on any show that will have me is smearing Blake Lively? And meanwhile, Ryan Reynolds is running around to parties and going to agents at WME and saying Justin Baldoni is a sexual predator and that's okay? Oh, I'm pissed. You can't say essentially. The essentially part completely makes it wrong. I'm sorry. This is the part that I can't handle. What is Hickman case information? Okay, continuing. Judge says, what of conversation with other people on the movie set to find out of the say harassment happening or not? What is this? Wait, Judge, what of conversation with other people on the movie set to find out of the say harassment happening or not? What is he saying? I don't understand. Lively's lawyer Gottlieb says, if it was for public statements, it's not privileged. We have to be able to allege mental states, so we need discovery. Huh? Huh? Can someone understand the judge part? What of conversation with other people on the movie set to find out if they say harassment happening or not? Hickman versus Taylor. What's Hickman versus Taylor, though? Is that like a big case about this? Um, Basically, he's saying, what kind of conversation with other people on the movie set? Is there other conversation with people on the movie set that can say that there's harassment, that harassment was happening or not? What kind of yeah, we need discovery. Is Judge Lyman okay? I'm asking this for like a serious. I'm asking this like honestly. I'm not trying to be, like ha 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 ha. Ha. Is Judge Lyman okay? Truly, I'm concerned a little bit. None of it feels correct. Something feels very off and very unfair. Why are they going after Freedman now? Why is Freedman now their target? Okay, hold on. Nothing after that. Let me look at your comments. Okay. Oh, interesting. Okay. Enrique says, Donna, I'm angry at him, but read it again. I think he's being confrontational to Blake Lively parties. Interesting. Okay. I'm wondering why you see that. I'm just so angry with him that I think that. Okay. Ludwig says he is saying, what if Friedman was talking to people on set to, oh, okay. Oh, what if conversation with other people on the what if the conversation with other people was on the movie set to find out if they said harassment was happening or not? Okay, so it's all about the way he was writing it. It was wrong. So Ludwig is saying he's saying that if Friedman was talking to people on set to find out if sexual harassment happened or not, are those conversations privileged or not? Okay, that makes a little bit more sense. It's very confusing. This is why things need to be live streamed because to get it third party is very confusing when you're not getting the actual transcripts, right? Um, okay, the Hickman versus Taylor case that he brought up earlier says the court recognized the work product doctrine, which holds that information obtained or produced by or for attorneys in anticipation of litigation may be protected from discovery. I see. I see. So that's why he brought it up. Lively wants Lyman to let her depose Freedman before she does hers, so she will know what he is asking her. Wow. She doesn't wanna be deposed by him. Interesting. They don't want him deposing her. He becomes a witness as such. Ah, yeah, we're so angry at this judge that we're not even correctly reading. I mean, it's very possible, but also there was a mistake like in the writing. Um, but it's still they really just don't have anything. I mean, it's obvious. They're really just trying desperately to find anything. Um, Omar's like, "Hey Donna, what time?" LOL now. Going through the live tweets. He's gonna be like, no. If not, we can do it another time. Okay, let's see if there's more. I love the Chateau. He's like, your client is not mentally okay, Gottlieb. Yeah, Rachel's got it right. She goes, a victim that won't speak, but that goes to red carpets. How does that work? I love the comments here. You guys are good. Mildly, if the judge allows this, we write at dawn. Where are we writing to, though? Like, where are we going? Where do we go? And will someone pick me up? According to a few AI searches, Nita says, according to a few AI searches, while some reports mention allegations that Lively's legal team attempted to involve Taylor Swift in the Baldoni lawsuit, these are part of a separate legal battle. Okay. Involving Lively, Baldoni, and their respective teams. The core legal principle established in Hickman versus Taylor relates specifically to the protection of an attorney's work product in litigation, which could be relevant to the discovery phase of the Lively Baldoni lawsuits. For example, the case's principles might apply to discussions regarding what materials gathered by lawyers in anticipation of litigation should be subject to disclosure between Lively and Baldoni. It's crucial to understand that Hickman versus Taylor is a foundational legal precedent, not directly about the Lively Baldoni case itself, but its principles could potentially apply to certain aspects of their ongoing legal dispute, particularly concerning the exchange of documents and information during the discovery process. Thank you, Nita. See, AI makes us smart. Molly says, never realized how non-partial judges are until this past year. So biased. It's really seriously so true. Okay, let's keep going. Let's see if there's more. Nothing else. What happened? Did they stop for coffee? Come on, Inner City, give us more. Okay. Lively's lawyer Gottlieb says, we are interested in and requesting about the use of trolls and paid communications. We want to know the number of outlets who received these claims and were exposed to them. Miss Lively was promised she would not be retaliated against. Look at my face. Trolls. I'm a troll. I'm a lover. I can't. I can't. Does this say on YouTube on the title that does it say Blake Lively versus Bryan Freedman as the title? Can someone just let me know? I cannot believe that we're still here. That she is like, I think that I was retaliated with a troll. Someone come into my DMs right now. Oh, it doesn't say. Someone come into my DMs right now and tell me if I want you guys to look at my DMs right now and tell me if I am if I deserve to get the troll thing too. because I think I'm gonna start uh, a lawsuit because it's literally part of the game. I understand you don't wanna get the retaliation. The retaliation is what you signed up against and so on and so forth, but this is out of goddamn control. This is such a waste of the legal court system. This is unreal what she has done here. She's made a mockery of the court system. I'm so angry with Blake Lively at this point. Oh my god, I can't show you that. Um Yeah, we're going to get into other topics. Erica's asking any other topics. We weren't even supposed to talk about this. I didn't even know this was happening, but this is just live. We're live tweeting a court case, Erica. So the second that this is done, which it will be very soon, then we're going to continue and we're going to talk about all the other things. But we're in court right now, girl, but we're making it fun. Don't worry. We have so much other stuff. We have to talk about Jax Taylor throwing Britney into the rose bushes. Like, Jax Taylor is throwing Brittany Cartwright into rose bushes, and Blake Lively is sitting at home being like, they're mean to me online. Oh my God. Like, shut up. Sorry. I can't. Okay, hold on. Erica said, I don't give an F about Blake. Can we move on to more important things? That's kind of how I feel these days. Honestly, that's how I feel these days too, Erica. I get you. I don't want to spend my days talking about Blake either, but when there's a live court case, you kind of have to, you know? Okay, let's keep going. Let's see if there's anything else. Trolls my ass. You guys, the comments are too much. I can't. I would be embarrassed. I would be embarrassed if I was like fighting for Blake Lively right now at this moment. That this is what they're saying. We just want to know if there's trolls on the way. I mean, there's someone said that there's a baby troll on the way. Oh, Copper Mountain's pregnant? Thanks, all baby troll on the way pregnant. Congratulations. So I said, that is so funny. Congratulations. Okay, hold on. There's nothing. All right, let's hurry it up, Gottlieb. I want to be done with you. I like the ads that they keep popping up every time I refresh Twitter, though. All right. Nothing. Well, don't F with Justice says, so are they calling the content creators trolls? What in the world salad argument is this? Promise you wouldn't be retaliated against for what? Trying to steal the movie, tanking the marketing, or something else? Because we know it wasn't SH, as that wasn't even mentioned until the New York Times hit piece. 100% agree. So now content creators are trolls. It's so disgusting. This whole thing is disgusting. Okay. Okay, here we go. Judge Lyman says the public has an interest. Oh, Judge Lyman stood up for the content creators for once. Gottlieb says we could exclude transcripts of public interviews. The judge says request 6 should be limited to the statements in paragraph 299. What say you? Gottlieb says Mr. Freedman has continued to make statements. What are they fighting for? What could they possibly be fighting for right now? What do they want? What does she want? This is the only thing that Judge Lyman has done positive in this entire trial, you guys, right here. This Judge Lyman saying the public has an interest is the first and only time that Judge Lyman has ever said anything that is real and like accurate and makes sense in the entire trial, this entire time. Don't you guys agree? The public has an interest. These are celebrities. This was a movie, a opening movie that was number one at the box office. Like, we're not talking about some random ass case. People were talking about Karen Reed. Like, what are we talking? What? I hope this is over soon. Like in general, like in life. Okay. Any comments that you guys want me to pull up here? Yeah, Mrs. Busted Can of Biscuits wants me to get more likes. I mean, for real. Come on, guys. I'm going through the crap of doing this for you. I'm so frustrated. She doesn't want to be deposed tomorrow. That's for sure. Freedman is not talking at all, and that's very intentional. It's very intentional. He wants to stay absolutely silent. He doesn't want to talk. He doesn't want to be speaking. He doesn't want any communications at all. Yeah, it's interesting. Yazzie says, I thought Freedman went quiet because of Lyman, but maybe he went quiet because of the subpoena. Very possible. Very, very possible. Okay. Wait, why is Zach here? Did you guys think Zach was here? Did you see Zach? Let me know if Zach is here. Let's see if there's another update. Finally, Judge says, if you can't find them on the internet, how are they retaliatory? Lively's lawyer Gottlieb says, we got a document in this case, a text chain with Mr. Freedman introducing the Wayfarer parties to his client, who then attacked Miss Lively and the New York Times online. Who is his client? Wait, we got a document in this case, a text chain with Mr. Freedman introducing the Wayfarer parties to his client, who then attacked Miss Lively and the New York Times online. Perez. Is this Perez? Oh my God, that's got to be Perez, right? I mean, that's the only person I can think, but I want to see it. Who would be his client? Oh, or Megyn Kelly. Megyn Kelly. Megyn Kelly is another one of his clients. It's either Megyn or Perez. That's the only person I can think. Gottlieb then said, oh, Perez. Gottlieb says, we have subpoenaed Perez Hilton, who now claims the reporter is privileged. We'll litigate it. That will come before the court at another time. There is no reason the liner firm should not provide its communications with Hilton. Oh, Lordy. We have subpoenaed Perez Hilton, who now claims the reporter's privileged. We'll litigate it. That will come before the court at another time. There is no reason the liner firm should not provide its communications with Hilton. Mm. Okay. I mean, until we see it, we have to see it, right? Interesting. That's definitely an interesting update. I mean, I would be very, very interested to see this text. It's You also have to remember that this set of attorneys did say that all of these content creators were on that tag list. Remember that? They all implied that all of those content creators that were subpoenaed were on that original tag list, and they weren't. They weren't. So they were implying that all those content creators were paid by Wayfair to create content, and they weren't. So we can't immediately confirm that anything that they're saying is true until we actually see it. It's very, very important to not believe everything that they're saying until there's actual proof. I'm not saying that they're lying. I'm just saying that we have to believe only when you're getting evidence. Lawyers are known to lie on dockets. Ezra lied on the docket, absolutely. And we need to see I want to see the context, right? Obviously, Gottlieb's making it sound like Bryan Freedman's like, Wayfair, meet Perez. You guys should get together and da 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 da. So let's actually get confirmation on the context of this connection, because it's very possible that it wasn't like a meet, now speak and talk badly. Let's get confirmation. But I know that that little one tweet is going to explode. You know, Omar can't join right now in this moment. He said I can join, but not right now. Unfortunately for Perez, that is not good for him in that moment. That's out there. Okay. Mr. Freedman has been on Megyn Kelly, continues to say, Mr. Freedman has been on Megyn Kelly, another client. There's Candace Owens, who is also asserting the reporter's privilege. Well, Candace and Megyn Kelly, 1000% can at least be known more. At least Megyn Kelly. I mean, Candace is a different boat, maybe, but Megyn Kelly is a reporter. Like, there's no question about that. You can't say Megyn Kelly, who used to be on the news, is not a reporter. There's Candace Owens, who is also asserting the reporter's privilege. The judge says if numbers 1 to 4 are no longer at issue, you have won, Mr. Gottlieb. Gottlieb says motion to compel. If numbers 1 to 4 are no longer at issue, you have won, Mr. Gottlieb. What was numbers 1 to 4, though? I need to know. Interesting. This is all so wild, you guys. This guy. No, you have won a kick in your balls. All right. Well, I don't know where it goes from here. Um, this is the one where Ellen said the answer is none. Which one is that? The one where Ellen said the answer is none. Hold on. I'm going to get someone in here really fast. Did he say one or one? He said one, WON. Trying to understand all of this. Motion to compel. I'm so interested about the 107 creators. Like, who are these 107 creators that were subpoenaed? Where are they? Where are the 107 creators? That's what I want to know. Does anyone know? I've learned a lot, though, about the smear campaign, the timing, and the fact that the Perez Hilton thing is a twist. That was a twist, a big twist for me today. Does anyone else feel that? I found that to be a wild, wild twist for me. I'm curious what Leanne is saying. She's not saying anything yet. Okay, we'll have someone in here in just a second. Wow, 107 content creators were subpoenaed. They're saying that they have actual communication, a text message between Bryan Freedman connecting Wayfarer and Perez Hilton, where Perez Hilton then starts to attack Blake Lively in the New York Times. But according to you guys, Perez Hilton, and I don't remember this because I don't follow Perez Hilton very regularly, but according to you guys, Perez Hilton was along the lines of like I was, where he started out being very pro Blake and then changed once he started to recognize more information. And I want to say that is a very, very understandable position. A lot of us had that position. I did too. That is not a smear campaign. That is an absolute recognizable, normal reaction to this. But also, what they're doing is they're moving the goalposts because originally the smear campaign happened between, August or January to August, like whenever they were saying the smear campaign happened. But now they're saying the smear campaign happened. Like, when was this text? So now the smear campaign is continuing in January or February or March, April, May, June. So the smear campaign, is the smear campaign going to happen in 2029? Like, when is the end of the smear campaign? And that's what's upsetting to me about this is that there has to be like some sort of end goal of when she can say that, like, yes, Justin Baldoni's attorney is allowed to speak badly about his opposing clients, about the person that he's fighting. Why are they so thick in the head to think that he wouldn't not like Blake Lively, or that he's not allowed to speak badly about Blake Lively? You're telling me that Ezra Hudson, I'm sorry, by the way, Stephanie Jones' attorneys just went on that Gavel Gavel podcast and spoke fairly badly about Jennifer Abel's behaviors and Justin Baldoni's behaviors. Is that a smear campaign? Are we allowed to talk badly about everyone else? So it's just not anyone else, right? Ellen says, I wonder if Perez asked Bryan Freedman for a comment and told Perez was to go to Wayfair publicist for a comment. And now Blake team is saying Bryan Freedman introduced Perez. Blake's lawyers use half-truths to insinuate. Absolutely, by the way, because it's very possible Bryan Freedman, listen how easy this could have been. Bryan Freedman gets added to the case for Justin Baldoni, one of the biggest entertainment lawsuit cases in recent history. Perez Hilton, who does what all of us do, content creators, is like, this is amazing. My former attorney that covered me and that I have a working relationship with, and I know a lot of people in his offices, is covering the case of the century, right? Covering the case of the decade. I'm going to use my connections. I'm going to use the emails and the phone calls and the phone numbers and all of the people that I know. I'm going to use those connections and I'm going to get in. I'm going to figure out who I can talk to. And maybe if I'm lucky, because I have a friendship with Bryan, I'm going to be able to jump on some phone calls with him and I'm going to get some dirt, because that makes sense. You have no idea how this is going to all unfold. This is back in January or December. You have no idea that in August, there's going to be subpoenas of content creators. We had no idea where this was going to go. We didn't know that there was some hardcore rule that content creators needed to keep their distance from anyone in the case. This is not normal when it comes to any of these cases. Like, I just covered Karen Reed. Absolutely. Like, from top to bottom, I covered Karen Reed. And there was not one part of Karen Reed's case where it said that if you were covering Karen Reed, you were not allowed to reach out whatsoever to any attorney on either side of Karen Reed's case, or on, you know what I mean? Like, that's not normal behavior. So it makes sense that Perez Hilton would have reached out to Bryan Freedman's camp and said, hey, Bryan, or hey, paralegals in Bryan Freedman's case that I spoke to all the time and I paid all my money to when you were covering me. Any chance I can get any insight on this case? And then Bryan Freedman or Bryan Freedman's assistants or anyone in his office could have said, here is who you can talk to when it comes to, here is who you can talk to when I'm, and sent them over there. He introduced them. That actually really tracks, Ellen. Great theory. That's actually a great theory. And I guarantee you, if they actually show the text, and if I were Perez, I would beat them to the punch. I don't know if you can do that, but I would beat them to the punch. I would show the text. That's what I would do. I would show the text and I'd be like, there is nothing nefarious about this. That's the communication. Just like Popcorn Planet, exactly. Popcorn Planet did nothing wrong. And yet all of the Blake bots are going out there and trying to spin that Popcorn Planet got the dance scene specifically, exclusively from his attorneys. No, he didn't. He got it from his attorneys, just like I got it from his attorneys, just like Zach Peter got it from his attorneys, just like, Ellen and Bob and Lisa and Jane got it from his attorneys. We all got it from his attorneys. TMZ got it from his attorneys. So just because Popcorn Planet, Andy says in one of his videos, we just got the dance video from his attorneys, that doesn't mean that Bryan Freedman called up Andy and said, hey, Andy, check your DMs. I just sent you a video of them dancing. No, dumbass. Sometimes I can't tell if these people are literal idiots or just like pretending to be. You know what I mean? Okay, let's see if there's any more updates. Um, Lively's lawyer Gottlieb says his list of clients may be one reason the Wayfarer parties chose Mr. Freedman as their lawyer. Garofalo says apparently he wants us to log communications in ways they don't. I don't think. Gottlieb told us of her allegations. So Gottlieb is trying to say that it's possible that Wayfarer hired Freedman because he's worked with Perez Hilton and Megyn Kelly. You've got to be fucking kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. Is this a joke? They probably hired Bryan Freedman because he has a track record of being an amazing attorney. It's not because they were like, we got to get Perez to be on our side. They specifically said in their documents, I'm sorry, I'm just going to call it out like it is. They specifically said in their documents, Melissa Nathan said, I believe it was Melissa, said, who cares about Perez Hilton? He's not relevant. Sorry, Perez. But they said it in their transcripts, in their text messages. Justin Baldoni sent a video of Perez Hilton talking badly about something, and I can't remember specifically what it was, and sent it to the team. And she said, who cares about Perez Hilton? He's not relevant. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, welcome on in, Lauren.
What's going on?
I'm heated.
Oh, I can tell. Yeah.
Lauren, you are one of 107 subpoenaed creators. Did you know that?
Yeah, I'm starting to feel a little less special.
What the hell? Who are these 107 people?
I wonder if they've even been notified because, I didn't find out until 13 days after they had issued the subpoena to Google. So if she sent it in more recently than that, then, they might not even have any idea yet.
What is going on? How is it possible that people just don't know, though?
Because we don't, they didn't even think about it. The X subpoena was on July 3rd as well, and they didn't find out about it until after I did. It takes forever for them to tell us about it. And then it's like, well, by the way, you should take action because we're not going to do it for you.
Huh. Well, did you know that you're just a troll in Gottlieb's eyes?
I think he's a troll too, so thank you, sir. The feeling is mutual.
Oh my God. Every morning I wake up and I check my email and I'm just like, is there one? Is there one?
It's ridiculous that they haven't picked up on some larger people. So I wouldn't be surprised if you did get something in your inbox at some point in the next week or two.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Why are they not going after these big names that have been really going hard and speaking about this? He even mentions today, okay, so let's continue to cover this case or the trial that's happening right now, this pretrial, whatever, this hearing. There's a couple things that have been popping up that I want to get your thoughts on, though. And you and I have been texting here. This Perez mention.
Yeah.
Now, we've been kind of chatting here in the chat about what we think the actual text message could have been that they're referring to. They're trying to make it sound really nefarious.
Well, they tried to make it sound like I was on the list of tags people that they disclosed to. And that was not true at all. So I'm going to be very cautious in criticizing anyone that they call out at this point, because I think that they're full of shit.
Yeah. So here was the actual message where it said that, where was it? So now I'm not going to be able to find it, but basically it said that we have a text message where he actually introduced Wayfarer to Perez Hilton, and then he started to make, bad messages, basically.
What does that mean, though? To them, they're saying bad messages, and that to me it could mean anything, because they obviously misrepresented the truth on purpose twice in my situation. So I don't really believe what they're saying.
No, I don't believe it either. I think that this is a great moment to show how easy it is to kind of twist and squeeze and I'm sorry, but Blake Lively has been known to take a fact and then create her truth based on that fact.
Yeah. Take authorship.
Take authorship. Yeah. And so Gottlieb and Ezra, they both do the same thing. And her fans as well. I mean, we've seen them do that too, where they take, like, for example, when they said that without question, all 4 of those content creators that were on that list, right? Candace Owens, Billy Bush, Megan, Perez Hilton and Andy Signore, all 4 of them for sure 1000% were paid by Wayfair to create content. We all know that's not true. And they were running with it because they like to spread false truths, just saying that it's true.
Look, you can do press and defend your client. That doesn't mean anything retaliatory or nefarious happened.
Yeah. Let's continue and just read up on what's been happening. So, of course, Gottlieb said that Bryan Freedman's clients may be one reason that the Wayfarer parties chose Mr. Freedman as their lawyer. Garofalo says, apparently he wants us to log communications in ways they don't. I don't think. Gottlieb told us of her allegations. Garofalo continues, it's just innuendo. Mr. Freedman represents someone. They have their opinion about Miss Lively. Merely calling something she doesn't like defamatory doesn't make it defamatory.
Right. Exactly.
The engagement letters have zero to do with this. She continues, it says Mr. Lively. I love that. Miss Lively is way out on a limb here. Allegations are not facts. And anyway, there is a litigation privilege. There is disfavor for discovery with respect to opposing counsel. We can't produce documents that don't exist.
Yeah. Right.
And then continues, Judge Lyman, do you disagree that your client, the Wayfarer parties, are entitled to all agreements the Liner firm has made with third parties? And Garofalo says they would not be entitled to prior agreements with Mr. Perez Hilton.
Why the hell would they? That doesn't make any sense.
Like, what do they want with Perez?
I don't know. I guess they want to show that he's, changed his tune or something, probably on behalf of Freedman. But what actually happened is, like, when people are talking about her this way, people who previously spoke maybe more cautiously or more favorably of her, there's like a clear progression of when they decided they didn't believe her story and when they started to feel more favorably about Justin. And that's all based on public information. It's based on public documents. There's no like secret, scheming going on behind the scenes. You can just look at what happened in court and figure that out for yourself.
It's actually really interesting. They're really going hard. They're kind of like changing course, I feel like, in this moment towards Bryan Freedman.
Right.
It's almost like they have nothing on Justin, so they're now going after Bryan.
Well, they went after all of us, so.
Yeah, they're like, they keep moving the goalpost.
Yep.
Do you not feel that way?
No, definitely. I mean, it's desperate, for sure. They're scrambling.
Okay, Cat says they're definitely misrepresenting something. Can you reread what Ellen said, please? Okay. Yes. Ellen says, Miss Lively is way out on a limb here. Allegations are not facts. And anyway, there is a litigation privilege. There is disfavor for discovery with respect to opposing counsel. We can't produce documents that don't exist. And then he says, do you disagree that your client, the Wayfarer parties, are entitled to all agreements the Liner firm has made with third parties? And she says they would not be entitled to prior agreements with Mr. Perez Hilton. What did we say wrong? And then it continues. Mr. Gottlieb's judge says, Mr. Gottlieb, I did order one of the parties on the Wayfarer side to disclose every content creator with whom they spoke. Have you requested that in a way that would cover the Liner firm?
That was Tag that he's talking about.
Okay. And Gottlieb says, interrogatory 5, we think there will be a supplement. What is 5?
They probably asked the same question, just to the firm. But they're not being compelled to answer that question, I think. I'm not sure. We'll have to ask someone who's a little more court savvy than either of us.
I'm still lost on the 107 too.
So, like I said, I really just think it's people who haven't been notified yet.
How late can you be notified to this?
Well, so since
Zach is here.
we're not actually the people being subpoenaed. Who's being subpoenaed is Google, X, Twitter, and or not Twitter. Twitter is X, and TikTok, and all these social media platforms. So they're being notified appropriately. But then the way that those platforms work, it takes them forever to tell us about it. So the platforms are the ones that's taking forever to get us the information. Because they have like a gazillion requests all the time, you know? So like how are they supposed to weed through all that?
Yeah, it's
Hey Zach.
Hey Zach.
Hey Zach.
Hey Zach.
I'm sick, so it's worse than it usually is too.
Oh, you're sick?
I've been sick all week, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And you just made fun of me.
I did?
Wow.
What did I do? I'm sorry, I didn't. I didn't think I did.
I don't care.
Do you think that they're bringing up Perez specifically for a reason and not like I wonder why why are they subpoenaing the content creators and not just going through the communications of the attorneys like that or a Wayfarer? That is the part that I just don't understand. This feels insane.
Maybe they don't believe them. I don't know. That's the only thing I could think of. They'd be like, no, you're lying, you know? I don't know what else it would be.
I just can't believe that the judge is allowing it.
But the thing is, they don't ask us for communications. They ask for our bank accounts, our credit card numbers, our IP addresses with geolocation data, blockchain data, all kinds of stuff like backup email addresses and all that. They didn't even ask us. They didn't ask us for communications because they would have had to subpoena us.
That's
Google.
the thing. Yeah, right. Exactly. Wait, okay. And then just to end it, you guys, the judge says, I'll get you an answer as soon as I can. Adjourned.
All right.
So what does that mean?
Is there anything above that or was that the last?
No, that was it. Judge, he said, Mr. Gottlieb, I did order one of the parties to disclose every content creator with whom they spoke. Have you requested that in a way that would cover the liner firm? And then Gottlieb said, we think there will be a supplement, whatever that means. So basically, they want to get a list of every content creator with whom they've spoken to.
Yeah. So interesting for me on that. I was wondering because I reached out to them as I've now announced to everybody, which I told people I was doing it at the time I did it. So you can clearly track my thought process and why I reached out to them. And it was not at their behest. Okay. As much as Miss Lively's attorneys would have you believe. But I wonder because they didn't respond to me if my name would even be included on that list if they did have to disclose something like that. Because they didn't communicate with me. I sent them emails twice, 2 emails that they didn't answer. So I'm kind of like, would that have me on there or no? You know, that would be weird.
Who did you email?
Bryan Freedman and one of the other attorneys at that firm, a separate instance. So I'd asked for an interview that was unrelated to the case, and I said it has nothing to do with the lawsuit. Then another time I asked, I see Mr. Freedman's no longer listed as the attorney on the docket. Is this an error, or is he no longer, representing? And that was actually a filing error. So he was on the docket, then he was off of it, and then he was back on. So that confused me because I'm not used to covering this stuff. So that was it. Like that's all I've ever.
And they never responded.
No.
Well, that's not communication.
And why would they? I'm just like a fucking rando,
But that's not communication. Like I can send a million letters to someone, but if they don't respond back to me, we're not in communication.
Yeah, right.
Like that's actually wild if they consider that communication.
But you know that these people who, are just dying to have like us somehow implicated in this are going to look at that and be like, well, Lauren said she contacted them and they didn't include her. So they're lying. And like, it doesn't make sense, but they're going to jump on that, right?
Because you've actually said it out loud that you've contacted them and then you're not on the list?
I mean, I wrote it in the declaration too.
Yeah, but communication is a two-way street.
No,
and
I
actually
agree.
The communication should be really who Wayfarer parties contact.
I agree, but the people who don't like us very much, they don't care about facts. They don't care about that. They're just going to jump on me for that because they can. They're going to distort that and try to make it look bad. Like the one guy already has.
They distort everything. So
I know.
You kind of can't even take it seriously. Like I've had conversations with Zach where we've actually questioned, are they doing this to rage bait or are they doing this for engagement or are they doing this truly and when I say they, I mean the people on that side, are they doing it because they
Understandable,
actually believe their lies? Like, are they really this unintelligent that they believe this?
Hmm.
Um, and uh, do I believe that, you know, I don't believe that anyone was paid by Wayfarer to create content. I
No,
believe that there were people that were reaching out to Wayfarer,
I'm sure a lot
and
of people did. Yeah.
I mean, of course. Listen, this is so typical. Whenever there's a story that breaks about anything, like I said this yesterday, not yesterday, last week or whatever, about the Kelly Wolf, Scott Wolf story that I'm like really obsessed with. That's like kind of a niche story. But the first thing I think about is, who do I know that knows them?
Hmm.
And I immediately reach out. When this story broke, I thought the same thing. Oh my gosh, look who's here. I immediately reached out and said, who do I know that knows them? Right?
Hey, Andy.
Welcome, Andy Signor,
What's up?
Popcorn Planet.
What's up, gang?
How's it
Oh
going?
my God. Look at this. Did you follow this morning's trial?
I'm just well. Is it
hearing?
over now? I was just catching up on it all now. Did they just finish? Okay, good. Yeah.
Yeah.
What can you
They
can you
just
recap for
finished.
me and anybody else who's just joining? Because I got about half of it.
Okay. So essentially what we found out was, from what we've kind of figured out, is that it was Ellen Garofalo speaking for Freedman and Gottlieb. And essentially they were going back and forth about the subpoena. They want to kind of quash the subpoena on Freedman's side. But Gottlieb was saying that they have all these defamatory statements from Freedman.
Yeah. Do we know which ones they're even referring to?
Well, one of them they mentioned perjury on.
They said that he essentially said it wasn't like a direct quote.
Essentially defamatory.
It was the wildest. It was the most disgusting way to say it, because this is what they always do. Remember how in one of their court documents they said actual they used a word like a very you highlighted it, Lauren, like they used a word that like an actually or something.
If apparently
the apparently held so much weight when they use that apparently, but they make
Right.
it sound so obviously like definite, and then they add the apparently.
Yeah.
So here I will find the exact tweet, and it says that he said it was okay. We plead 8 specific defamatory statements. Here, I'll share it right here. We plead 8 specific defamatory statements by Freedman on behalf of the Wayfarer parties with actual malice. He falsely accused her of perjury, essentially. He falsely accused her of perjury, essentially.
Essentially. Apparently.
He falsely
yep.
accused her.
Yeah. All right. And you
So none of it
essentially
makes
tried to put me into debt for my First Amendment right to free speech. But hey, semantics.
And by the way, Ezra's completely has lied too. Like, this is absolutely not a first time thing where there's been defamatory statements. It's unreal. And then it says that, so that was the first thing that was interesting. But then another time, Gottlieb says, we are interested in and requesting about the use of trolls and paid communications. We want to know the number of outlets who received these claims and were exposed to them. Miss Lively was promised she would not be retaliated against. And then another time they talk about, we have subpoenaed Perez Hilton, who now claims the reporter's privileged. We will litigate it. That will come before the court at another time. And they're saying there is no reason the Liner firm should not provide its communications with Hilton. They also continue, Mr. Freedman has been on Megyn Kelly, another client. There is Candace Owens, who is also asserting the reporter's privileged. They don't mention you. You're the only one that didn't get mentioned today.
I know. It's always, I always
in a way. Well, no, you've been mentioned a lot lately, but not today. But then what they said about Perez Hilton is that they have a text message, which I thought was really interesting. They said they had a text message that now I can't find that text message. Where is that one sentence about the text message? But essentially, they said that they have a text message that they found where there's a text that basically connects Bryan Freedman, introduces Bryan Freedman. Bryan Freedman introduces his client to, oh, here we go. We got a document in this case, a text chain with Mr. Freedman introducing the Wayfarer parties to his client, who then attacked Miss Lively and the New York Times online.
Who gave you that?
Really interesting.
Like, how would they have obtained their text communications?
I'm assuming Abel's phone that they clearly have.
But this would have been way
full documents
later.
from for months and months and months and months and months.
The timeline doesn't work, though, does it?
Wait, no. Think about it. Remember, she had access to her iCloud until January.
Oh, good Lord.
Absolutely.
Melissa Nathan had, Stephanie Jones had access to Jen Abel's shit until January, until she finally realized, oh my God, she's had access to my iCloud until January something.
Right.
Holy shit. That's how they got that.
So, but look at that again. We got to document this case with a text chain where Mr. Freeman
Who's beeping over there?
That's my work computer. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Sorry. If it's work, it's okay.
I didn't want to say, but yeah, it's so introducing. Wow. So does this mean Perez?
This is Perez, yes, because then he brings up Perez.
Perez. I'm sorry. Please don't be mad at me, Chad or Don or anybody.
I don't like Perez Hilton.
Okay, and neither apparently did the Wayfarer parties. They were talking smack about him privately in their text chains. So I'm sorry, I don't understand. Well, of all the people, why would you connect Justin to Perez Hilton? That doesn't make any sense to me. Love him or hate him, the dude's a very polarizing figure with a very dark past, history of really shitty things. Now, it's just weird that Justin would connect to that guy. Is it not? Especially when you have texts admitting that he's irrelevant, don't listen to him. Like, literally, there were texts from Justin's PR team calling out and making fun of Perez Hilton for being irrelevant.
Absolutely.
Don't be mad. I have my own. I'm not trying to start a beef with Perez. I get it. He's doing some good now, but still, you know what I'm saying, Donna? Do you hear my? Why would they connect him?
There's way too many content creators out there that they would want him to be on, that they'd want him to connect with. For example, Bethany Frankel is a former client of Bryan Freedman. They would have connected that much more likely than Perez Hilton. I'm with you. And it's not about like or hate. It's about the kind of content that Perez Hilton creates does not align with Justin Baldoni in any way.
None whatsoever.
It doesn't make sense.
I would just like to state for the record that I'm Switzerland.
You can be Switzerland because it doesn't have to do with even liking him or not. It's just looking at the kind of content that he creates. It doesn't track for my brain either. So that's why I go with this idea. Earlier, you weren't here, but earlier, Ellen in the chat had said something that really made sense, which was it probably was something so stupid and not really a big deal, which was someone like Perez saying hey, Bryan Freedman, just reaching out to Bryan Freedman's office because they had a contact. They'd worked together before. Can I get a quote? Or do you have any insight from the Wayfarer team on da 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 da? And then he just connected him with their PR.
This makes no sense. A text chain where Mr. Freeman introduces the Wayfarer parties.
Zach says it could have been turned over in discovery.
I guess, but
I'm so fascinated with this document of text chain of Mr. Freedman, and it seems to imply Perez, unless it's these. I'll be honest, the ones I read of Intercity, it felt like some stuff was missing because he was typing so fast, or there was. I'd like to see the actual transcript of this to confirm if that really is. Maybe that Perez is a separate thing.
I thought. When he first said this, I said, because it said a former client. He said a client. So I thought, okay, well, it's got to be whoever's talking about Miss Lively in the New York Times about this case. So it has to be either Perez or Megyn Kelly. But then right after he said this, he mentioned Perez Hilton.
Megyn hasn't really said anything about all this. She hasn't been subpoenaed.
She very much talked about this.
So
about
wait,
this?
is
about
tag the Wayfarer?
No. This was.
I'm just talking about this specific issue, not the case in general. But I know she talked about the case.
She's definitely talked
And
about the
Blake a
case
lot.
and Blake Lively, but not about the subpoenas. No.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had a question. Does Tag are they part of the Wayfarer parties?
Yeah. I believe so.
Abel and Nathan.
Yeah.
So is that? So
Yes.
I guess it's because I'm reading it as the Wayfarer parties. I think Justin, but this is more likely Brian's connecting Melissa and Nathan and Abel to Perez.
Yes.
Okay.
I think when you say Wayfarer, it's everyone on that side.
Who cares? I don't get it. What's the that doesn't imply, it doesn't mean any, and who then attacked Miss Lively in the New York Times. I mean,
they think that Freedman is continuing a smear campaign by driving people, content creators, connecting content creators to his side, and then they create negative content.
Correct. Well, that's you said it. Let me say it again in my way and tell me if we're on the same page, Donna. Perez, Candace, myself, countless others, Variety, TMZ, everybody's getting insight and statements. There was a video clip that came out from Bryan Freedman's office. There was a lot of stuff that we got that then we reported on that proved Blake wasn't being honest. And now that's suddenly us attacking her. So that's what I think this is. There was clearly a early phase where many press were getting statements from them with the new evidence that dropped. Perez might have been one of them at that point, and so be it. And so creators are getting alerted by the Wayfarer parties, which is also their PR team, still trying to defend themselves. But this is now still retaliatory and the smear campaign when they're literally defending themselves in a lawsuit. So I don't understand how this is an attack or wrong.
There's nothing wrong with it.
No.
If I were Perez,
but notice they have no proof, so they're just Blake's team is being very sneaky in that, and it seems like Freedman doesn't want to really admit it. But I don't know. I'm keeping it honest whether I should or not. Yeah, I'm sure Freedman team or Wayfarer somebody. I'm sure they were handing out statements in response to Blake's suit to defend themselves. Is that illegal?
No, there's absolutely nothing wrong with it whatsoever, but they're using anything and everything they can against because they don't have anything tangible. They have absolutely nothing tangible. So when you have nothing tangible, you literally are grasping.
Right.
That's why they're
Zach
subpoenaing.
said, right. Blake's team was doing it too.
Of course. Of course. I mean, Leslie Sloan has a relationship with Bethany for years. There's pictures of them that go way back. Like there's no question that they're all doing this together. Everyone does this. There's absolutely no way that this wasn't in any way. The only reason that they don't like it is because it came out negatively for them. But I don't believe that they're going to come up with anything. But if I were Perez Hilton, I would show the communication because I bet it's nothing.
Maybe he will.
That's what I would do. I would just be like, here you go.
Yeah.
Look, I sent a message on January 3rd saying, hey, Brian, Happy New Year.
It's more complicated than that. Once you give a mouse a cookie, then they get the whole, they want ice cream. They want milk. They want the whole thing. And what I would problem is if Perez is, if there's any conversation that's there, that can be spun. That to me is what the issue is about. And I think Perez is smart in not, I will give him this credit, even though I don't always love everything he does. I will have his back because all press should be protected. We should not have to give up our sources. And I'm not speaking in this case. I'm just speaking in general. I've had a million sources that I've kind of played nice to get the insight, Don. You know what I mean? So it's like the way you talk to a source doesn't necessarily always mean it's real. Like, I don't know if you've done this. Like back all my whole career, sometimes you get a source. I had a really bad person on the channel and I was nice because I wanted to get them on the channel so I could have them hang themselves on the channel. You know what I mean? So your interaction with a source doesn't necessarily mean but do you understand what I'm saying? Like, you got to be careful giving that up. Perez shouldn't have to give up any conversation he had. And we shouldn't be weirded out that Perez, who I don't love, is allowed to go get statements and talk to that, just like Bethany's allowed to talk to Blake. Hell, I'll say it. Ex-patriarchs allowed to talk to Blake. Like, I don't give a shit. Like, the reality is they're all allowed to talk to their people and defend themselves. Like, and the fact that we're trying to vilify one side or the other to say, well, they're doing it is bad. Everybody does it. Everybody does it.
Yeah, I mean,
oh my God, hold on, sorry, Don, let me take it. Bob. Perez is as ethical as you are. You had your own SH scandals. I'm not talking about Perez's personal life. My personal life's none of your damn business. Perez's personal life's not my business. I'm talking about Perez's work. The dude put Britney Spears near death and countless other celebrities to it. He was such a bully in the way he did it. I'm sorry, don't just get over that. It was really disgusting what he did to people. He drove people to the brink. Now, I agree, people can change. I haven't seen a lot of that. I don't know if his heart's really in this or if he's really in for the clicks. That's my experience of Perez. So I'm not judging him based on his personal behaviors or his whatever. Like, don't compare us like that. If you want to judge me by my work, then go for it. And if you don't like me for my work, fine. But I'm not doing this because I have personal vendetta with Perez. I'm talking about his history with the way he covers things and did shit that I think drew us all back. People compare me to him or TMZ, and I despise that because we're better than what he did. And I'm sorry, he's still got a lot more to climb up for me to just be like, oh, we're cool, Perez. And he's working on it. Great. But don't you dare try to present like, oh, we all have a past. His past is horrific, what he did and how he put press behind, what he did as press. It's not that cut and dry. So love him all you want, but don't you dare try to compare like, I have my own history. I don't hide my history. I've taken accountability. Has Perez? That's what I would challenge. Anyway, sorry.
I just gotta, as you can hear, my work computer's kind of going off over there, so I'm gonna have to take off now. I'm sorry.
This is Lauren saying I'm
sorry,
out.
Lauren. Love you, Lauren.
Sorry, man. But
bye, Lauren. Thanks. Love you.
Yeah, thanks. Love you too.
So, okay. So, but at the end of the day, I think that you're right. We should be able to have conversations and everything. I think it comes down to getting paid and getting asked to.
Yes.
Getting asked to create content.
Paid, that's bad. If anybody, if you were, if I was, if I no one I know has been, I've not been ever paid by anybody. It's funny. Who was it? Was it Ashley who figured out? That's not true. Mint Mobile has paid me.
Oh yeah, we've all been paid by Mint Mobile. Mint
Mobile has paid me quite a bunch. I'll be doing anti-Blake content according to her, and they'll get Mint Mobile ads.
For real.
How funny is that?
Real.
Well, I don't want beef with Perez. Sorry. Also, all respect, Perez. Keep being the better person. I hope I'm wrong. Keep doing your thing. But that's my stance.
Look, everyone's allowed to have their own opinions about everything. Yes. But at the end of the day, the real bully here is you know who. Correct. And we will continue to cover this, obviously, Andy. And I saw that you filed something yesterday. You want to give an update on that?
Oh yeah. Well, I filed my motion to quash for my own person because they're still coming after me, even though they have a lot of subpoenas dropping like flies, which I'm so grateful for Lauren and others. My personal subpoena, it has not been dropped, and so we filed it in Florida. So they have to come at me in Florida to deal with it, which honestly is the way it's supposed to be. She keeps trying to use her fancy lawyers to get through and skip specific legal things. So it doesn't work that way. So I'm really happy with our lawyers. We filed and we'll see what happens. Now it could still get kicked to New York. It could, but they have to face it in Florida first. Now a Florida judge who has been selected is going to go through it, and I'm going to have my day in court there and hear if it works, and that'll be great. And I feel confident of hopefully kicking it out in Florida, which would be awesome. But now Blake's going to have to come to Florida. So sorry about that. It might be a little bit more expensive, but if you're going to make me,
I don't know how her hair is going to do.
They got to help. That's the whole thing about this. We do have rights, and she keeps wanting to try to pretend like it's no big deal. And the Judge Lyman sort of seemingly saying that there won't be sack. So it's really frustrating me, his lack of ignorance on what's actually happening, and what the emotional turmoil, the financial burden, the things that are costing the creators and press. I don't want to keep calling us content creators because we're not. We're press. We're journalists. We're media. We shouldn't call ourselves content creators like they keep trying to downgrade us. And we're not. We're bigger than that. And that's my thing is we all should stand up and make sure we get our rights. The problem is what I'm finding out, and this is changing the documentary, which is probably getting delayed just because I also don't want her to see what we have for her. I think she really wants to know what's in it. And part of me is like, okay, let's pause a little bit and just let her wait a little longer. But beyond the sources and stuff, that she's coming after, I really think what this is exposing is just a disgusting issue of just the rich and powerful can really step on anybody. Like not everyone can afford the lawyers. And she has some of the best around, like multiple departments at in each coast. And it's scary when you're up against that much support, right? And you can't afford it. And they can then just completely screw your rights over, and you don't have the money to go, figure that out. So I'm grateful that I have a platform and an audience that many of you probably are watching that supported. So thank you, everybody, and Donna for your support and everybody. But it's scary when you realize what we're up against. You know what I mean?
It's very scary, and I've been a big advocate of the injustice in this case from beginning to end. I really, really dislike how it's feeling. I very much stand behind you guys. I am not subpoenaed, but I feel like I basically am because I'm in the fight with you. Just like I just haven't gotten the email yet. I mean, 107 creators have been subpoenaed. So where are they? I don't know. There's 60 people that still haven't received a subpoena. So I may be, we don't know. But it would be very, very interesting to see. I can't believe that he's not giving you guys a little bit more credit. All I know is that, Leanne, who I love on Twitter, who I trust her, I didn't mean to let you go, who I trust her judgment, said, personal opinion, if Lyman grants Lively the LFTC subpoena, that's the, Freedman subpoena, he'll be setting a dangerous precedent because this is unthinkable. He would have to believe that a member of the bar has engaged in a smear campaign with no personal motive for doing so. He would also have to be willing to weaken attorney-client privilege and work product to do so. This would be a case that would be cited by other lawsuits going forward. Did I get a vibe that he intends to give it to her anyway? Yes. It's getting scary out there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it affects all the subpoenas because literally my argument, part of my argument, and special shield law in Florida, like if there are other places to get it, go get it from them. That's where you go get it. And so it's scary because I agree wholeheartedly. But if they go get it from them, then anybody else, all the other subpoenas to me are going to be absolutely moot and thrown away because it's like, hello, you know who my source was. It says right there, Bryan Freedman was the source. It's on the damn screen. So I don't understand what they think they're going to get. That's the other thing. Like, there's nothing I'm hiding, but I'm still going to protect the nothing I'm hiding with all my energy, because if we just give it up easily, we've given up our rights. And to someone who is hiding something that they can't say, they have that right, and we should all stand up against the tyranny and for the people. And of the free press, because that's what's so amazing about they put in Benjamin Franklin and his brother my guys did some amazing lawyering and history of examples of how important this actually is. So I'm also grateful in a weird way. I should be careful what I'm saying, but I'm glad a different judge is going to look at my case. A different judge here in Florida is going to make his opinion
Thank God.
next. And that'll be interesting to see what they think.
Well,
we'll see.
We're standing by you. We're going to be watching the entire time, Andy. Obviously, you guys can find Andy over on Popcorn Planet. I know the link is not clickable here, but find Andy over on Popcorn Planet. Support him over there. He's over there 5 days a week, 7 days a week. I mean, you're always on, right?
Yeah,
You're
right back at you.
posting.
Subscribe here, join, donate to Donna. Keep doing what you're doing. So overall, your takeaway on this, because I'm going to go report. Are you worried?
Listen, we can't hear it. So it's so hard when you can't listen and you can only hear from a third party. But it sounds to me like he's giving him, he's like listening, and he's like, I'm open to hearing why, yes, Bryan Freedman should be subpoenaed in this case against what, I mean, it's shocking. And I trust Leanne, and that makes me nervous that it's possible that Bryan Freedman's subpoena is not going to be quashed. It's scary.
Yeah, this is gonna be an interesting precedent, because it's also interesting because I guess they're his clients. So technically, yeah, it's very interesting. It's very interesting how this will play out.
I know.
Plus, don't they have a lot of these correspondents from the phone already? It's like they probably have more than Justin will ever get. Is Justin getting Blake's phone records?
God knows anymore. I have no idea.
That's
Are
what's
we
always.
still?
I
This
remember the
feels like
Johnny Depp one
17 years
specifically.
ago that we've been talking about.
Did you know Johnny Depp's text got leaked? Like, we're still trying to figure out how his whole phone records got out. But Amber,
I don't know,
then
but I just got this book in the mail. Someone just sent me
good
this.
one, good.
HarperCollins just sent me this.
Oh, nice. Actually, I don't know.
Hollywood
I don't-
Vampires. It
I'll
says
have to
Johnny Depp, Amber Heard, and the Celebrity Exploitation
I
Machine.
don't know
Have
that
you
one.
heard
Is
of
that,
it?
there's one that's bad, but I don't know. I won't pass judgment. But it's interesting because during the trial, somehow his lawyers messed up and they got Johnny's texts, which then Amber got to plow through and like find any little thing. There was some not nice sounding texts, but we never got Amber's. Amber somehow miraculously got away without having to provide her texts. I find that so despicable. How one side, so okay, this one leaks and now we have it all, but this one, oh yeah, no, we're protecting ourselves. Make
Well,
sense.
nothing's fair. I mean, when you watch the Karen Reed trial, you recognize like the judicial system is not always fair.
But now they're going to get the lawyer's texts, but not Blake Lively's texts.
Psycho. It's so frustrating.
It's wild. It is so wild. But I guess Blake's texts don't happen now because Justin's not filing back. Since he's not suing her. That might be
He's
why
not suing
he can't
her.
do it.
So that we
Oh,
don't have the
it's such a
ability to get
mess.
it. It's
I'm getting
beyond.
nervous. I'm getting nervous, Donna. I'm getting nervous.
You should.
I'm not
Is it
getting
time
nervous
to
for
jump
me. I'm
ship?
getting nervous for justice.
It ends with justice.
It's
Your
going to end with justice.
documentary.
Stay tuned. All right, let me go. I'm going to go start my. Good to see you
Okay,
all.
you
Support
go do
and
you,
subscribe,
and I'm
Donna.
going to continue to talk about Jax Taylor, the abuser.
Keep doing that. Talk soon, guys. Bye, everybody.
Bye, Andy. Thanks for being here. Oh my God, you guys, we're already almost at 2 hours, but I'm not going to stop talking about it because we still have so much to talk about. And I promised you I would continue to talk about it. So if you guys are still here, thank you so much for subscribing to Daily Dose of Donna and liking the show. I had no idea that we were going to do all of that time, but I promised you I would continue. So what I'll do is I'll continue to talk about some other stories and I'll chop this up for little mini episodes also I'll add them on to the show later or to the channel later for people that are just interested in other things. And I'll probably have to talk about Aaron Spencer on another episode. But I just don't want it to go 18 hours. I do have to eat lunch at some point today. But let's talk about Jax Taylor first, because Jax Taylor was out of control last night. And if I can say one thing about Bravo that I will give credit to, is that Bravo did, in fact, do the right thing, that they fired Jax Taylor. But here's where they effed up. Bravo did not say that they fired Jax Taylor. And this is the problem. Because on last night's episode of The Valley, Bravo aired that he actually physically abused with his hands his wife. They aired it on my TV that Brittany Cartwright was pushed into a rose bush multiple times, and she has it on camera. He threw a coffee table at her where her legs were turned black and blue, where he broke her laptop. He broke her phone. He threw the bar stools at her. He threw this. He threw that. She was shaking, even talking to him. The drug use, the this, the that, the this, the. And still, at the end of this, just know that at the end of this entire thing, they let him get off with a little conversation saying, I've chosen to walk away from my mental health. They can't even allow the audience to know that we do not tolerate abusers on our network. I'm sorry. Bravo, do fucking better for the women and for the people that are watching your network. For the women, I specifically say the women, but for the younger people who are watching your network and who see this man, Jax Taylor, who is admittedly an abuser, drug addict, rager, angry man, who is abusing the wife, his wife and the mother of his child mentally, emotionally, financially, and physically. And still, they allow him to have dignity to say, I'm going to walk away for my own mental health. This makes Bravo and that production company and Alex Baskin, the executive producers of all of the Valley and all of those, look this small. Because if I were them, I would say, no, you're not walking away. We will not tolerate you on our set. Gross. And I may not love Brittany Cartwright and her sparkle. I may not love her, but I absolutely will never, ever, ever condone a man like Jax Taylor. And they're going after Danny for drinking a little bit too much tequila sometimes and getting a little handsy sometimes with his lesbian girlfriend. Not okay, but this is the villain of the season. Danny? Please. Meanwhile, Janet, who we call Fanet, is over here saying, thanks so much. I lost all my weight because of Adderall and Pilates. I'm sorry, what? We're going back 10 years ago to when, we're taking Adderall? Do you have ADHD? Is there a reason you're on Adderall? I don't think Janet is an ADHD. You're taking a stimulant, that appetite suppressant, a stimulant to lose weight? You might as well just say Ozempic. I think that is like a little bit better. You're out loud saying that you're taking Adderall to lose weight? And you're going after Danny for drinking too much? And yet you're still cool with Jax? And your husband is standing up for Jax? What in the upside down world are we living in on the Valley? Feeling freaking heated watching that show. Purple Yellow says, wasn't it a joke about the Adderall? I didn't see her laughing. I didn't see her saying I was joking. I think she was absolutely serious. And Andy was like, oh my God, you look great. Great. Can't wait for all the young girls to watch this show. Seems like such a good show. Next. Jesse and Michelle. I feel bad for Michelle because she's like, things are good with Aaron. He's not disgusting like Jesse. And meanwhile, they live together. And now they're totally broken up, like in real life. And I feel so bad for little Isabella. Now, Jesse, who I have become to love on the show, turned into a little bit of a jerk on this reunion. And they exposed him for a little bit of his jerky behavior. And now I'm like, did I get charmed by Jesse? Did I get swindled? Am I in the Jesse swindler Tindler? You know what I mean? Like, I'm wondering, is Jesse actually not so good of a guy? Do you guys think Jesse's a good guy, or do you think we're being faked? Because it sounds like he's not so good of a guy. And Jesse's girlfriend sounds a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, if you want to know my honest feeling. But no one beats Janet and Jason and Jax. Those three, they sink the ship. Everyone else, I can handle. Still, Lori not Lori. I saw someone. I got a text from someone named Lori. Still, no one's better than Kristen. Kristen and Luke are my favorite. Nia and Danny. And everyone else is like, goodbye. Hopefully Jesse's getting better. That's my hope. Next week's episode is crazy because Jack starts crying over everything and talking about his cocaine usage. Let's talk Love Island. Love Island had some crazy drama last night. And I didn't watch this season of Love Island, so I was not interested whatsoever. I thought it was boring. I tried for like a week, and I was like, I don't have time for this. It was during the Karen Reed trial. I was like, wait, I'm watching 6 hours of Karen Reed and then 15 hours of law tubers talking about it. There's absolutely no way I can also watch Love Island. Like, it's not for me. But last season, when we were, Aaron and Kaylor and Leah and Miguel and Janae and Kenny, like, that was the best season ever. I loved it. So I was obsessed with last season of Love Island, and I haven't been following it regularly. I haven't been following Love Island Beyond the Villa and all of that stuff. I don't follow them obsessively. But last season, Janae and Kenny were one of the couples. There was a bunch of couples that came out of it. And one of the couples that everyone loves is Janae and Kenny. Now, apparently, they've been showing some cracks on Beyond the Villa. And then over the weekend, all the drama came out that they had broken up. Everyone's like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Everyone's unfollowing Kenny. Everyone's unfollowing Kenny. And it was like, Leah unfollowed him. And then this person unfollowed him. And then everyone's like, Janae unfollowed him. People were freaking out. And then they said Ariana Madix unfollowed Kenny. And everyone was freaking out over that. What could Kenny have done? It must be really, really bad. If Ariana unfollowed Kenny. And then I was thinking to myself, do people unfollow people just for cheating? Well, Ariana would have, right? But this is weird. Why are all the men unfollowing him too? So yesterday, finally, we have them finally speaking out. And everyone was wondering, what could it have possibly been? Like, what could Kenny have possibly done to create all of the drama? And here we go. So Janae finally goes on her stories and she allows us into her personal life to give us a little bit of an insight. So on her story, she says, first, hold on. Her first story that she says is, it's a good thing I took screenshots, right? Because they expire. Her first story says this. Hi, my loves. Thank you for all your love and support. It means the world to me. As you know, Kenny and I are no longer together. Please know I've seen all the breakup theories and none have matched up to how terrible, disgusting, and disappointing it truly is. Discovering that someone you loved isn't who they thought they were, and the relationship you thought you were building hasn't been genuine since day one has been truly devastating. Thank you for respecting my privacy. And please know, as a child of God, I will always be okay. So then Kenny decides, okay, enough. Then Kenny decides, what is going on? Stop sharing, to speak up and says something for himself. Seriously? What is happening? Why is my computer's like, enough, Donna, you've been on live way too long. It's enough. Kenny decides to speak up and he says, I love how the men try to come on and they're like, see, okay, I can say something now too. And he says, the past few days have been incredibly difficult. I've been quietly sitting with a lot of emotions and doing my best to process everything privately. Breakups are never easy, especially in the public eye. Sometimes, despite how deeply you care for someone, you come to the hard truth that the relationship was not something that could last long term. I'll always be grateful for the time we shared and the memories we created. I released this chapter with no ill will, only a hope that Janae's path forward brings her nothing but happiness. Well, she was not having it. And she said, Kenny Rodriguez, STFU, you manipulative liar. You not taking accountability and telling people the type of person you really are is insane to me. My first statement was me being nice. Do not piss me off. She was pissed. So then I was like, what did Kenny do? Then Leah, who was like the first person to hit 1 million followers. Remember, she was like the big star, came out and said, put a sock in it, Kenny. Put a sock in it, ChatGPT, head ass. Tell the truth for once. Then she says, racist, clout, money hungry, and a scammer since day one, trying to make it seem like it's something it's not. DW, which means don't worry. I found out from all the young people yesterday. Our nay is blessed and highly favored. Now remember, everyone is unfollowing. Everyone is unfollowing him. And I'm like, what could it have been? And sure enough, Dumois posts that it looks like one of Janae's best friends, one of Janae's best friends exposed also that he found basically allegedly the tea was that there was text messages that Janae found on Kenny's phone that said that, and I'll show you what Dumois Blind said. Allegedly, the tea on the breakup is that she found texts on Kenny's phone about his plan to stay with Janae for her business/clout, texts with her friends calling her racist names, which aligns with both Leah and Serena's statements calling him a clout chaser and a racist. And then the final thing was I had posted here on, well, let me find it. On TMZ, they pulled up one of her best friends had posted on her account. And she didn't share this, but her best friend posted on her account. She basically warns women, check your men's phone. She said, my advice for women in relationships, if you have access, go through your man's phone today. Search keywords like, I don't like black women. I thought I would get more money from this. I'm faking this relationship. Going on the show would be for clout. I can't wait to be done with this so I can F hella bitches. Then she says, you'll thank me later. P.S. Never spare a man. Dog them out, baby girl. Ouch. She found text messages on his phone where he was basically calling her racist words, saying, I don't like black women. I can't wait to be done with her. I'm here with her for the money. I can't wait to be done, and I can't wait to go on to be with other people, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Ouch. Now, I'm wondering last night before I went to bed, how many girls between this and the Coldplay CEO scandal were thinking to themselves, I'm going through my man's phone tonight. I need to get Lance in here and go through his phone. Lance has been home this whole time that I've been doing the show. I can't believe he hasn't been live on my show. Should I get him to come in here for a quick second? Want to say hi? He's working from home, and he's never working from home. No, never? What do you mean? Should I never go through Lance's phone. But like his phone is never hiding from me. I know his password. It's always around. I've never felt the need to it's not, the key with phones, guys. The key with phones is never put it if the person's phone is upside down, like on the table, like this, or next to you on the couch. Then you question. That's when you question it. All right, you guys. He said he's on a phone call. With who? With who? All right. I love you guys so much. Michelle says, I've been watching Bachelor in Paradise, and I think about how him every time you have to tell him the filming is brilliant. Thank you so much. I haven't been watching. I'll be back tomorrow with a more diverse show. And I have a lot of editing to do for the audio version of today. I appreciate you guys so much for being here. I adore you. Thank you for being here. And I'll talk to you mañana.